Hey everyone, it's Pastor Hugo. Our verse today comes from 1 John 3, verse 11. For this is the message that you've heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Maybe you remember from last week's devotion, I talked about the fact that John's writing is not done the way that we write. We've been taught to write a thesis statement, Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, to make our argument, and then a concluding statement. That was from Aristotle, and John wasn't influenced by Aristotle. He wrote in a very Jewish way of picking a topic and then just kind of walking a circle around the topic. So John is walking around this topic of God is love, and in this part of First John, he's focusing on how the fact that God is love, impacts the way we treat each other. And he says, "This is what you've heard from the beginning: love one another." And we had to pause for a minute and say, what does he mean from the beginning? From the beginning of Jesus' ministry, from the beginning of their faith life? But I think it goes back farther than that. You know, when Jesus said, two most important commandments are love God with heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself, he wasn't creating something new. You shall love the Lord your God with heart, soul, mind, and strength goes word for word back to the time of Moses when the children of Israel are wandering in the wilderness on their way to the promised land. Deuteronomy chapter 6, God says those exact words through Moses. And same thing with love your neighbor. That comes from directly from the book of Leviticus. It's Leviticus 19, verse 18. In the middle of all the ceremonial law, God says, love your neighbor as yourself. This is what God has always wanted. You know, we tend to think of this as a New Testament concept, but in reality, God has always wanted us loving our neighbor, and he built it into the systems of the ancient Israelites. When they did their harvesting, they were to leave rows unharvested so that people walking by could pick grain and make bread. And it was built into their system that they were to take care of the poor and feed the hungry and visit the lonely and take care of the needs of those who were oppressed, free them from their oppression. This is what God's always wanted. This whole love your neighbor thing is nothing new. The church lost sight of it for centuries. The Jewish church lost sight of it until Jesus came and really kind of kicked it up and even added to it. And it's no longer just treat others the way you want to be treated. It's now, as I have loved you, love one another. And so Jesus makes this the identity of the church. It's what we're known by love. This is how we impact the community more than any other way, is simply by loving. This is how we change the world, by loving. This is our best Christian witness, our love. So this is nothing new, people of God. Let's make sure we don't lose sight of it the way the ancient church did. Let's just love one another. Have a great day. See you next time.